recently got the opportunity to order a knife from Buck's Custom Shop. It's the first time I've done that before. I own a lot of Buck knives, but they've all come from the production line. Those of you that follow the channel know that I'm a big fan of the Buck 110. So I got here a Buck 110 with a drop point blade in S30V and oak scales with no rivets there. So a little side comparison here with the classic Buck 110 clip point. This one has the rosewood handles. So I'm not going to waste any time in just saying that I'm really impressed with the fit and finish on this knife out of the Custom Shop. There's no gaps in the scales. The blade is straight. Everything is clean. The grinds are really nice. And it is a beautiful knife. So I'm very happy with it. Recently, I've had a few bad experiences with Buck and their quality control. I ordered a couple of Buck 55s for my kids, and the scales are not seated correctly. A Buck 112 I got recently, the grind was uneven on one side compared to the other. You know, it doesn't really affect the functionality of these knives, but it's not very aesthetically pleasing. And I didn't return them. I'm sure I could have worked with Buck and they would have honored their warranty, and I'm sure they would have worked with me to replace those. But I chose just to hang on to them and keep them. My kids have put them through the ringer anyways, and they've been really good little knives for me and for my kids, but I certainly wasn't impressed with the quality control there on those last few Buck knives that I bought. So I wanted to give Buck another chance. I've been wanting to get one of these drop point Buck 110s for a while anyways, and I had a customer request a sheath for one, and I thought this is a good opportunity to try the Custom Shop. The finish is beautiful, the grind is very nice on there, and everything looks really, really good on this Buck that I got from the Custom Shop. So no concerns there. Now, does that mean that there's no more problems with quality control in Buck's standard line? I don't know. I've heard from others that have had similar quality control issues, but I haven't given up on Buck, and this certainly isn't a video to try and bash on them or anything. I think they make beautiful knives. I think they have a similar problem that a lot of companies do, and that is a huge boom in demand and the need to compete in a market that includes many knives from China that are super affordable. There's just so many options out there and so many companies. It's really hard for these classic American-made knives to retain the same level of quality while putting out the quantity at the price that this market demands, and with all the options, right? So that's one of the things I appreciate about Buck, is they've managed to keep their classic models in production, and I think there's enough demand for these models like the Buck 110. It's interesting because there's something about the feel of this knife and the weight of it and the sound of it clicking. It also carries some weight in the form of memories and nostalgia. This knife is so classic, and there's so many people who remember these from their childhood, and their dad had one or their grandpa had one. I've never seen a knife with so many stories as the Buck 110. I've seen it get a bad rap from people out there on the internet who maybe don't have that same nostalgic relationship with this knife. They kind of approach it from the context of this new world of everyday carry that has hit the internet, and it's kind of a sensational knife market with so many different competitors and a lot of different types of steel and design differences. So in that context, I can see why they would be confused about the Buck 110. Sure, there's steels that are going to hold an edge a lot better than Buck's production line 420 HC, but Buck has historically done a very good job of heat treating their knives. I have used a classic production line Buck to clean a whole antelope and not had to touch up my edge one time. So they hold an edge for as long as you need, and they're not hard to put a new edge back on there. So, you know, it's just a classic knife, and I have a relationship with it. It's not going anywhere. This knife's gonna be around for a long time. And I hope that we see some of these quality control issues go away. I hope Buck's able to maintain the integrity of these classic knives in this new crazy market. But one of the things that makes this knife funner to carry is having a good sheath. And as far as sheaths go, the ones that come with these Buck knives aren't half bad. But having a horizontal carry sheath that is specifically formed to your knife sure makes it a pleasure to carry. I did a little bit of filming while I built this sheath for my customer, so you guys could have a glimpse into that process, but I've made some other videos on that as well, so I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about that here. I actually made 3 sheaths, one for the customer, one for myself, and another one potentially for one of you. And I tried a little bit different design on my own, where instead of having this leather wrap around for the belt loop, I did a completely separate piece of leather for the belt loop and attached it on the outside stitches. And I thought this would make a little slimmer profile, make it so your knife rides a little bit higher and in line with your belt, and also can be flipped in multiple different directions depending on how you want to carry it. So you could do cross draw or right side draw or carry on the back. So let me know what you guys think. Which one of these designs do you like the best? And if any of you are interested in this third sheath, you can check out the information in the description. I've had a lot of people ask me about the availability of these sheaths and costs, and I don't have a website up right now. I've been doing custom orders these past few years, but I'm currently not able to keep up with the demand of how many people want these. And so I've decided to change how I'm going to approach these sheaths. I'm going to do some batch releases. That way I'm able to make several of these in one batch and release them all at the same time. And eventually I'll have a website, but for now I'll just release information here on YouTube. And if any of you are interested, just be watching for the release of some batches of these Buck 110 sheaths that will be coming out. Thanks so much for your support, guys. I can't tell you how grateful I am for your viewership. Please subscribe, because there's a lot more coming.
There's a storm coming, buddy. There's a storm coming.
You guys stay classy, not unlike the Buck 110, and I'll see you on the next one.